Hello! Today we're going to talk about graphing lines and all the different types of lines we're going to graph. Like always, I suggest you pause and copy down this outline. And if I were you, I would always put the date on your notes along with the title. That'll help you find the notes, or if you have a friend who's absent and needs the notes or something, I don't know, if you have a question for me, it's always helpful to have date and the title. Alright, good to remember that a point is always written as x, comma, y. And remember, x is how far left or right you go from the origin. The origin is the very middle of the graph. And y is how far up or down you go from the origin. Our slope, we like to represent slope with m. Remember, we call that the rise over run. Rise being how far up or down you go from one point to another, and run is how far left or right you go from one point to another. Now we have three ways we can write lines: slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and standard form. And there's different ways to graph depending on how you started your line. So if you have slope-intercept form, remember that's y equals mx plus b. Your first step is to plot the y-intercept. And remember, your y-intercept is always 0, comma, a number. And that number is going to be this b right here. And notice if b is negative, if it's negative in the equation, it's going to be negative when you plot it. Then use the slope, which again is rise over run, to plot two more points. We always like to have at least 3 points plotted. If you can only fit 2 points until, and then you run off your graph paper, 2 points is fine. 3 points is best. And that's all you got to do for slope-intercept form. Point-slope form has a similar way. Now remember, point-slope form is this long equation. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So that's a really long equation. And again, you're going to plot a point, but we're not given the y-intercept when we're given point-slope form. We're just given the point x1, comma, y1. So you're going to plot whatever that point is. Please remember that we always have this negative sign in front. So if you have y minus 2, then your y value is positive 2. But if you have y plus 3, then your y value is negative 3. So be careful. Then use your slope, again, rise over run, to plot 2 more points. So slope-intercept form and point-slope form are really similar. Slope-intercept, you plot the y-intercept, then use your slope to find 2 more points. Point-slope, plot the point you're given, and use the slope to plot more points. Standard form is a bit more complicated. Let's look at that one. Alright, remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c. So here's the thing, it does not give us an easy way to find the slope or an easy way to find the x-intercept or y-intercept. So we have to go through some steps. First, let's find the x-intercept. And a little reminder, your x-intercept is when y equals 0. That's just a little reminder. So that means we can mark out the by thing, because this will end up being b times 0. Well, that's 0. So you'll end up with ax equals c. Well, then we just got to solve for x. So x is going to equal some number. I don't know what number, it depends on what equation we're given. So you'll be given that number. Well, once we have x, we know y is 0. We've got the x-intercept, we can plot it. So it's going to be some number, comma, 0. Whatever that number we got here is our x-intercept. It's that number right there. So plot that. Then we have to find the y-intercept. This time, x equals 0. So anything a times 0 is going to be 0. So we mark out our ax and we get by equals c. Then solve for y by dividing both sides by b, and you'll get some number. Y equals some number. Then you plot the y-intercept, which is going to be 0, comma, whatever this number here is. Now you've got 2 points. Draw your line through them. And that's all you really got to do. Now you should have gotten a handout that you're going to glue into your notebook with some examples. Go ahead and start working on those.